Hi Sev, I hope you're feeling better. This is your video lesson for today. There are 3 things I want to talk about. I'll go down the list, and as usual, if you have any questions or want me to look at anything, please feel free to send it over. I don't mind at all, and I'd like to see kind of like where you've progressed so far since you started. So cool. First thing is we're going to build off of what we talked about last time, which is the E minor pentatonic scale. Tons and tons of rock riffs are written from the scale. So if we want to get better at those things, we first must learn where to put our fingers, and then the different combinations of notes that we can do are called sequences. Basically, all music is made of sequences. They're all over the place. It's like really what makes up a melody. By playing the notes of the scale out of order in some sort of pattern, predictable pattern. Then we can break that pattern, but that's a talk for another day. So the first thing is just getting decent in the pattern. And the first one we're going to do is take that E minor pentatonic scale, taking that scale right there, and we're going to do what's called in thirds, or a sequence, a 3-note sequence. We're going to go up 3 notes, and then we're going to go back 1, up 3 notes, back 1, up 3 notes, back 1. What that looks like, and I have this tabbed out here for you, so you can follow along with the handout. We have the first 3 notes: 0, 3, 0. I'm going to go back 1 note, the previous one I played before, and start from there and do 3 more notes: 3, 0, 2. I'm going to go back a note: 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2. I'm always going back a note: 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then what you can do is you can play that backwards as well. I just didn't write it backwards, so I figured you could probably figure that out. It's not rocket science. You just basically play this and you go backwards this way, the way that you came. Like I said, if I wanted to take up more paper space, then yes, I would write it out backwards, but I figured you can figure that one out. That's not too crazy. So going backwards, it's this: 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, it's not super exciting on its own, but like I said, it's something that you want to do if you want to get better at playing rock riffs, is that you practice the technique of them first, and then you go try tackling them, because then that way you're not spending your time learning how to make your fingers move. You're kind of concerning yourself more with like, how does the melody sound, or how does the riff sound? Like if you wanted to get better at one that we're going to do, there's all kinds of sequences in there. If you know the patterns, that ain't that bad, because you're taking what you've already learned and just sticking it all together. And then now we can focus on listening to music rather than just like, where do my fingers even go? Right. Now, to make it more exciting, what you can do is you can throw in a backing track. So you can go on YouTube and you can type in E minor backing track, and a plethora of them will pop up. And just pick one, a nice slow one to do would be fine. That way you can practice doing, playing against the backing track. And also too, it's good for practice playing with other people, because eventually the idea would be that you would go hang out with some friends and they'd have a guitar or something else. And once you play the chords, you could play like a little solo and be creative on the fly. So playing with backing tracks will get used to playing with other people. That's an added side benefit of it. So that's why I highly recommend doing it with a backing track, because first off, it's not as boring. It's not boring. And then secondly, it gets you used to playing with other people. So 2 birds, 1 stone, which is what I like to do. All right, then number 2 is taking that E minor pentatonic and playing a riff with it. The one I've written out here is Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin. This is a very basic riff, but it's a fun one to play. This is literally the whole song. There's like a solo section there that gets all kind of trippy, but by and large, this is kind of the riff for the song. I've tabbed it out here, real slow. 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 2 on the 5th string, 0 on the 4th string, 2 back on the 5th string, 0 on the 4th string, 2 on the 4th string, and then 2 groups of 3 on the bass string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, numerical groupings. That's what this is all about. Right? Practice that riff, because then that way you can start having fun with the E minor pentatonic scale. Number 3 are chords. I can't speak to how Wild Thing is coming along, but if you want to send a video of you playing it, that way, like I said before, I can give you more specific remarks about things that we can do to improve your playing and take it to the next step. So I'll assume that one's going along fine because I haven't heard anything, so I'll assume that. And then the next tune is going to be I Fought the Law by The Clash. Originally, it's a cover by The Clash. It was really by the band called The Crickets. But I think the Clash version is much more recognizable. What we're going to do first is, I believe I gave you the G chord that looks like this, right? But there's another version of G that you can play that is this, which in this case you're using your pinky to fret the high string, not the third string. Or sorry, not the third fret on the first string. So you have your G chord here, and what you want to practice is, no, you're like, why would I want to play G like this? It's harder. And the reason why is because in a lot of songs this happens. If you notice right there, my ring finger has stayed in position. It's a pivot finger. It helps me get from one chord to the next. If you keep one note there stationary, or one finger there stationary, it's much easier to switch. Now, at the beginning, you're gonna be like, oh my God, that hurts, why would I do that? As you get more experience, that'll actually be kind of like you kind of have your thing there that kind of keeps you stable and keeps the notes ringing through and makes the chord switch a lot easier, right? But first, you do have to practice the technique of it. So what I want you to do is I want you to practice going from a G chord and switching to a D chord and seeing if you can keep that ring finger down the entire time. Here, then here. I would love to see a video of you doing that. If you could submit that next time, it'd be super cool. If we hop down to the next part right here, which is the actual song, what I've done is he has the D chord, right? He goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then to G, D. See, there it is. So I fought the law. I'm doing all downstrokes on this. So I fought the law and the G, D. I fought the law and the A, D. And then do that A, D one more, do that D, A, D one more time. D, 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 A, D. So first time through is a D to G and you D and a D. You do that one time, then you go D, then to A, E twice. Sounds like this. D, 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 G, D, 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 A, D, 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 A, D. You do the whole thing 2 times. Back to the beginning. Right. So practice that for me. And then going down to the chorus of the song, the strum pattern is down, 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 down. I've written that out here for you for each chord. If you notice here, I have a ×2. That means to do that pattern 2 times for that chord. Same thing here, and then same thing here. What it'll sound like is this. We'll go to a G chord, down, 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 twice. D, down, 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 down. The second half of the verse. D, 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 A, D, 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 A, D. And that's the chorus of the song right there. Right? So practice those 3 things for me. Like I said, I'd love to see a video of you playing, or if you want to save it for next time, that's fine too. But I'd love to see kind of what you're doing with all the material. Cool. Well, I hope everything is trucking looking better for you, work-wise and life-wise. And I look forward to seeing you the same time next week. Take care.